Hey guys, I want to do a quick video just to talk about how do you think about marketing during a time like this with a lot of uncertainty in the market. There's a lot of talk about COVID-19, obviously, and those are even starting to ripple into talks about where the economy is going. And it puts marketers in a really difficult place. I was actually talking to one of our clients this morning about how do we deal with this? Do we continue with business as usual? Do we pull everything, all of our marketing down and just pause for a little while, or do we pivot, right? And so here's how I'm thinking of this. This is just to give you some ideas of how you might want to think about your own marketing. I think in times like this, you need to balance being aware of what's going on and demonstrating that you're aware of what's going on and overcorrecting, right? Right now, I am not encouraging our clients to overcorrect. In other words, I'm not encouraging them to stop all of your marketing. Unless there's things out there that are clearly insensitive for the times, I think we need to continue, right? We need business to continue, and a lot of business continues, riding on the back of how well we market. What I do think it's a good time for is to think about how can you be most helpful to your customer base and your clients. When you think about the role that your company or your product or your service plays in your clients or your customers' lives, what's the most helpful thing you could be doing right now? If one of your customers were to call you up on the phone, as they may have already, and being like, what do I do about this? What do I do about that? You need to think about, well, how can that response that you're going to give them apply to all of your customers and clients? And even beyond that, all of the folks who aren't your customers or clients right now. So my sort of golden rule right now is be helpful. Another little tactical thing I would encourage you guys to think about is look at the imagery that you're putting out in your social feeds and in other marketing efforts that you do. Right now, the one thing we're actually paying attention to a lot is how much of that imagery shows, embracing and touching, or, things that right now are not what you should be doing. So we're going to a little bit more neutral imagery where people aren't necessarily touching. It might be a person standing their own. It might be another kind of abstract graphic, but we want to make sure that we're not actually showing some of the behaviors that we're being encouraged not to do right now, right? And so my things that I would have you think about right now are, do you have anything out there right now that is tone deaf, or that you are appealing to a customer that right now it would not be a good time for them to take you up on your offer, right? It's always think about them first. So those would be the situations where I would say, maybe it's time to pull back and think about how can I better serve that customer. The next one is, all right, thinking of the customers that you have, how can I best serve them? Do they need a guide? Do they need an extra service? Do they, what is it that you can offer in terms of help to your customers and clients and to your prospects online in your marketing that'll actually be helpful? And then the third thing that we're talking about is just not over correcting. We need business to continue. Business is good. And so you don't necessarily want to pull everything back. We don't want to be putting people out of jobs because we stop everything that we're doing. So think about those things in relation to what you're doing when you're thinking about how can I be helpful right now. Maybe there's a guide you can put together. Maybe there's a video that you can put together to be helpful. But that's really, I think, what you want to be doing. And so I'm curious about, what you guys are seeing out there. Drop me a comment. Let me know if you're, keeping calm and carrying on, or if you're having to do a major pivot. I'd love to hear from you and learn from you as well. So that's it for today. Take care.